These pictures are all by young Grindle, aren't they?
Yes.
What are they doing in my gallery?
Oh, Mr. Ware, I think they're saying quite a good job.
Get them out.
But I promised him an exhibition.
Get them out before I throw them into the street. My gallery is not a place for nobodies.
Mr. Ware, I've been in galleries where they find painters, get them a name and a market.
That's what you want, is it? You want to be some sort of Santa Claus for every broken-down paint slinger at my expense.
Well, I do fancy I'm paid to get worthwhile pictures. It is something I am supposed to know about.
I'll tell you what you're paid for. You're paid to save your brilliance for what's important. And I'll tell you what's important. This Monet that's coming up for sale in London. That's important, that's money. I'm off to see Milton now. The park railings are rent-free. The pavements are rent-free. My galleries are not.
And while we do undertake a broad range of security work, including investigation, surveillance, and the safeguarding of clients' interests... You should study this, Heather. Highly educational.
Not quite my line of country.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are unable to undertake assignments that clearly conflict with the public interest or the law itself, as this would appear to do.
Yours virtuously.
Yours, etc., Ian Suter. Heather, get me a taxi. I shall be at Wheeler and Bonds.
Right.
If a newspaper criticizes a High Court decision, that's contempt, surely.
Depends how they do it.
Well, this one questions the right of an English court to decide who owns the money that Wheeler and Bonds have in their sale.
Oh.
You better take this with you.
Well, we know who's behind this little piece, don't we?
No? Can you send a taxi, please, to number 4 Marylebone Court? Yes. It's to go to the Bond Street area, right?
One of his pet seals wrote this. Who? Joseph Farnham. It's his paper. He owns 3 monies himself. I wonder what axe he's grinding with this.
3? 3 too many.
Oh, do come off it.
Money. The sentimentalist, exhibitionist.
Look, you can't. You simply can't just stand there and knock Monet. Well, you might as well knock the way a bird sings. It's the same thing. It's a pure expression. Only Monet did it with light.
I'll take your word for it.
I'll leave you to it, mate.
Suter and Shoesmith Limited. Oh, yes, of course. Thank you very much. Your taxi's waiting.
Heather, no
Yes.
appointments today or tomorrow, right?
Right.
Right. Right. And right.
Oh, George, leave that for the moment, will you, and give a hand inside with the smaller things,
Yes. Ah, there you are, Percy.
Oh, good morning, Ian. Oh, Ian, I've been studying your security suggestions. Ours needs modernizing, I do agree.
It would make the insurance people happier, and they might cut your premiums.
Oh, yes. Oh, have you seen this? Yes. Yes, indeed. The river at Argenteuil. Monet really saw paradise.
So how much should this view of it fetch? If you still put it up for sale?
If?
Well, with the national paper casting doubts on its ownership, the sale could be wrecked, you know.
It'd take more than Farnham's paper empire to do that. We've put our name to the sale of this. What with him and that ratty old Skierno.
Who?
Oh, the Frenchman who sued our client over this money. Not content with losing, he's been pestering me on the telephone, forbidding us to sell it, if you please. Even threatening murder. Yes.
Yes, as I say, sir, I'll be in court all day tomorrow. It rather tires me up. I'd give anything to arrange this purchase myself.
Well, what about young Searle, then? What's his expert opinion worth on this buy?
Well, you know me, sir. I wouldn't be where I am now if I couldn't pick them. Searle is an expert, both on art and prices. I mean, after all, it was he who picked up your Rouault, and the Whistler sketches, and your Modigliani. Ah, yes, Searle's been worth his weight in gold, helping me build up this gallery. I'd be most obliged if you would not tell him that I think so, sir.
He's that good, you better take care you don't lose him.
Ah, yes, well, I shouldn't be at all surprised, business being the way it is, that I shouldn't be able to offer him some sort of partnership, eventually.
I can imagine. Now, about this Monet.
Yes, sir. Well, I would like to be quite straight about this.
Good.
You see, this will do a lot of good to both of us, both to the gallery and to you. You, as a patron, bringing a picture
Yes,
like this
yes.
up from Manchester. I mean, apart from everything else you've done, you will get national publicity this time.
For that money, I should hope so.
Well, even as an investment, sir. I mean, just think. The value of this will be doubled in 10 years.
Cut out the blurb. I want that picture.
Yes, I know, sir. Well, I'm sorry that I've been in court all day. It rather ties me up. I would have given anything to arrange this purchase.
I take it this is where cutting corners gets you. You're so clever, you're always in court.
Where does it get them? I mean, people who sue are fools, aren't they, sir?
So are those who expose themselves to it. All right, let him go up to 50,000 then.
Ah, well, you can rest assured, sir. I mean, if I say you'll get a thing, then you will get it.
So I should hope.
No. I'm not exaggerating. It's the truth. That's what the man said. £50,000. I tell you, sir, you get this picture at anything like a reasonable figure, there'll be a lot in it for us. There might even be something fat in it for you yourself.
I should rather like that in writing this time, if I may.
Yes, I dare say you would, but I don't much like putting things in writing. You have to take my word for it, I'm afraid.
I see.
Now, you made all your arrangements, plane ticket,
Oh, by the way, Mr. Ware, those sketches that I sold to McPhee, shouldn't I see to their delivery before I go?
No, I wouldn't worry about that, not before you go.
Or may I ask why?
Well, I've disposed of them to somebody else. I got a better offer.
You what? And what the hell am I supposed to tell McPhee? Now listen, that man came all the way up here from Sussex, and on my advice. My God, this is the last straw.
You imagine I care what you tell him? You can tell him any damn thing you like.
But you can't do things like that!
Who are you to tell me what I can do or what I can't do? You're getting too big for your boots, Sal. You carry on like this and you'll be out of a job. Now look, I'm busy and you should be. For a start, you can write to your Mr. McPhee.
I don't think so.
What did you say?
I said I shan't be here to do it.
And what do you mean by that?
I'm leaving.
I see. You choose this moment to drop me right in it. You know how much hangs on the sale of this Monet. And you know that I'm tied up in court in Manchester all day.
Well, you just try and find yourself some other expert and trample on him.
When? Who? This comes up for auction this afternoon. Look here, Sir. You walk out on me now, and I'll make sure that no other gallery in the country will ever look at you again.
I should think you've already done that.
Why, Miss Lane, how nice to see you. Excuse me. Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Pardon me, will you?
Yes, Ian? Well, our security arrangements are operational from now.
Oh, fine.
Now, the guards remain while the stuff's on display. Tonight, I'll take over the major pieces you want delivered.
Yeah.
The rest must go in your own strong room.
Good. Thanks, Ian.
What brings the television people?
The money.
Ah?
Oh, a little morbid, don't you think? Recording the breakup of the finest private collection in the country. Oh, excuse me, will you?
Sure.
I say, could we move that back just a fraction to some more seating space? Yeah, and if the cables could go on the other side, it would be thanks very much. Why, Mr. Farnham. Good morning.
Yes, I know their value. Ah, Suitor,
Oh, morning, Farnham.
a word in your ear.
You brought your checkbook, I hope?
Why, is there something to buy?
Well, there's the Monet, for instance.
You don't read my paper.
And not if I can help it.
You should. I'm after other game.
Really? Who's bidding for you? Susanna Lane?
No, she's off my game.
Susanna Lane? You mean you've let that lovely girl slip out of your hands? Oh, Wheeler tells me she's a very astute buyer.
Maybe, but that's not my concern. Now, are you able to go to Paris after the sale?
I've kept a couple of days free. Why?
Good. Rather nice bronzes coming up today. I'd like some suitable items to go to Paris. Gifts for various associates, you know.
Oh, the Cranford bronzes, eh? Well, must reserve a 50,000 quid on those.
One can't prize old friends too high.
Ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Are we ready to make a start now, please?
I understand. Right.
Will do. I shall be at Wheeler and Bonds until 5 o'clock or thereabouts.
I wish I was going, instead of being stuck here with this lot.
Now, stop being fanciful. You've got to be a millionaire to shop at Wheeler and Bonds.
I wouldn't want to buy anything. Just press my nose up against the window pane.
You're still dreaming about that money, aren't you?
Actually, I've got my own little Monet at home.
Eh?
Well, it's an inspired facsimile, to be precise. I painted it myself, along with about 20 other students. It used to be in the Clichy Museum in those days.
This is a fact.
We had to copy it as an exercise. The river at Argenteuil.
Yes, well, when I was at school, we used to copy French postcards and flog them. So I suppose that's more of a trade than an art, isn't it? This way.
Going for £70,000, the Cranforth Bronzes, for the third time at £70,000.
Ah, 70,000 for a set of bronzes, was it?
Oh, a mere token for some head of state. Some friend of his, I suppose. And we're to deliver them.
Oh.
Well, that completes the Cranforth Bronzes, ladies and gentlemen. We come now to a picture which ranks amongst the most distinguished of the French Impressionists. I refer, of course, to The River at Argenteuil by Monet. Yes.
£12,000.
Yes, 12,000. Well, I trust there will be an advance on that.
15,000.
15,000, thank you, sir. 15. Can we have 20, please? 20,000. 20,000, thank you, sir. 25. We have 25, thank you. 25,000, 30,000. 28,000, then. Do we hear 28? 28,000 is bid for the Monet. 29. 29,000, thank you, sir. 30. 30,000, 30,000, 32. Do we hear 32? 32,000, 34.
Oh, no, Chef. Oh, no, I shall not be quiet.
What seems to be the commotion out there?
Quiet, please. Oh, monsieur, I shall not be quiet. You have no right to sell my money. It is mine, and it is not for you to sell. Oh, bonjour,
Monsieur Sienna, I should have no need to point out to you that ownership has been established by our high courts. I must therefore ask you to be quiet or to have the goodness to leave.
High Court, I do not recognize the decision of your High Court. Come on. This is my picture. It has been transferred without my... I have it destroyed, monsieur. Destroyed, rather destroyed than being robbed of it. That way. Not here. I warn you. I won't leave me alone. I warn you. Whoever buys this picture is buying himself into great trouble. Come along, into great trouble, I assure you. It's robbery, monsieur. Robbery, that's what it is.
Well, may we continue? We were calling 34,000. Miss Lane, I believe you had bid... Yes, we have 34,000. 35. Do we hear 35,000? Thank you, sir. 36. 36. Thank you, madam. 36,000. 37. Do we hear 37,000?
That's rattled them, isn't it?
Well, do we hear 37,000? 36,500. 36,500 pounds. 36,500 pounds. 37. Going at 36,500. For the second time, at 36,500 pounds. Thank you, Miss Lane.
Well, who is she acting for?
Herself, perhaps? Or Farnham on the quiet.
I want no more trouble with this picture. Will you see it safely delivered?
Sure.
And I mean safely. You're to hand it over only against cash or a banker's draft.
You don't know what our resources are?
No.
Ah, good evening, Miss Lane.
Oh, Mr. Souter, isn't it?
That's right.
Come in.
Here it is.
Oh, let me see it.
Well, there you are.
It's beautiful.
It's all yours, barring one little formality.
No? Oh, I haven't offered you a drink.
Scotch, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, many thanks. Good luck. Tell me,
Yes.
were you acting for yourself?
Why do you ask?
Oh, just so that I know whom to dun for £36,500 on behalf of Wheeler and Bond.
Yes. Well, as a matter of fact, not wholly on my own account. If you'll care to wait and meet the person I was acting for, you should be here any minute.
Ah, I shall have to. You were bidding for Burnham.
Was I?
Well, between him and the late owner of that Monet, they certainly brought the price tumbling down.
Look, Mr. Souter, I'm really not very interested in discussing Mr. Farnham's methods of business. Oh, excuse me, this will be your check. I would like you to meet my associate, Mr. Christopher Searle.
Said that until this afternoon's disturbance, bidding for the Monet landscape had been keen. The picture finally went to a Miss Susanna Lane for £36,500.
More than 10,000 short of what we were prepared to pay. That row was a stunt, Mr. Milton. If I'd been there, we'd have got that picture.
But you weren't.
No. Wasting all day proving what I'd always maintained, that they had no case against me. Mr. Milton, I promise you, if I catch up with that young Searle, I'll make him pay for walking out on me like that.
I'm against being turned into a local joke, Ware. I won't be let down by a tradesman twice.
I want a booking on the next plane to London. And could you find out where I could contact a Miss Susanna Lane? She'll be open to offer, Mr. Milton, like anybody else. I'll get that picture, Mr. Milton.
You'd better. I'm not lending my weight to a prestige enterprise that's run like a flea market.
I'll get it.
And you bought this picture for your gallery in Manchester, the Veritas?
No, for myself. I'm not with Veritas any longer.
I see.
Hadn't we better have Mr. Souter's firm take care of this till we sell?
Could you undertake that for us, Mr. Souter?
Well, I imagine so. You bought this to resell?
Well, actually, I had no intention at all of buying it until Susanna told me that she knew of an interested party that couldn't get to the auction personally. So I mortgaged a legacy.
That was smart work.
Oh, there was another incentive behind it, too. You see, we both had our problems with people we work for. Now we plan to start up our own gallery to help young painters. And people the speculators don't give a damn about, but artists for all that. After we resell that money, we should have enough capital to make a start.
So let's not keep our buyer waiting any longer.
Do I know him?
Well, if you've heard of Lexington, Illinois, there's a chance you've heard of him.
A person called Dean Nash.
He's very keen to carry back some culture to his hometown.
Hello? Is that Dean Nash? Oh, it's Searle speaking. Good evening. Now, sir, the Monet that Miss Lane discussed with you. Yes, sir, we've managed to secure it. Thank you very much. Now, I was wondering where we might conveniently meet to discuss sale terms. I beg your pardon? Oh, no, that was just a bit of filibustering. Now, look, I do assure you that the right to this picture is quite clearly established. Yes, but there's no need to expect any trouble. Well, yes, of course, I can understand your misgivings, but... What? No, I agree, you made no commitment to buy. Oh, yes, I'm sure we will. No, not at all. Goodbye. You've seen at the sale, they stampeded you. God, some crank has only got to get up and deny that he ever sold the ruddy thing, and the bottom drops out of the market.
Oh, well, it only leaves us 36,500 in hock.
What the hell am I going to do?
Does rather look as if you've bitten off more than you can chew.
Oh, we'll get a buyer. Look, when people realize this row was all wind, the price will go up again right away.
Yes, if you can hold out that long on borrowed cash.
Well, I can't. They'll be after me, too. You watch. God, I can't wait. I've got to get a buyer.
What about Farnham? Have you thought of trying him?
Farnham? I ought to try selling this to Farnham after he's publicly questioned its ownership and stirred up all this mischief against it.
Well, I could sound him out for you because I'm off to Paris with him with some of his loot.
Thank you very much. You trot off to Paris with your Mr. Farnham and leave me out of it.
Whatever he said, he stuck his own nose into the bidding this morning.
He was playing. I swear he only did it to bother me.
He went after 30,000 quid.
Yes, but if that's the extent of his interest. Look, I have worked for him. I've quite had any dealings with Mr. Farnham.
Well, you'd know better than I.
Since we are on the subject of rough players, you could try your Mr. Ware.
What?
Well, from what you said, he was very anxious to get hold of this for that moneyed gentleman who was backing him.
Oh, no, we'll get a buyer.
Well, you don't have to worry about the custody of this money. We can handle that for you.
Well, that's very good of you.
Perhaps when you're through here, you could drop over and sign a service agreement. I'll give you a receipt for this meanwhile.
You'll be there at this hour.
Yeah, I make my bed in the filing cabinet.
Miss Lane?
Yes?
I wonder if you know me. My
Yes,
name is...
you're Mr. Ware. What can I do for you?
Well,
I'm afraid I'm a little tied up just a
Well, I'll see you later, all right? Excuse me. Sorry.
Thank you.
Well, Miss Ware, you don't have to worry about this.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Ware?
Miss Lane, I have a business proposition to put to you. I wonder if I could talk to you a little more privately?
Mr. Searle and I are associated.
Yet this money was acquired in your name?
Yes. What is it you want, Mr. Ware?
I have a client for this money. We're prepared to make you an offer for it. We are prepared to offer you £38,000.
Oh, really, Mr. Ware? That would hardly cover our expenses.
More than 1,500 over what you paid for it. Quite a good afternoon's work, I would have thought. Very well, I'll go as high as £40,000.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ware. The fact is that we're not all that keen to dispose of the picture just now.
To me, isn't it?
Mr. Ware.
Isn't it? Very well, I'll give you my top offer. It is £42,000. That is £5,500 over what you paid for it.
Really, Mr. Ware, I think we would prefer to explore the market first.
You damn little whippersnapper. You set this up, didn't you? You worked it all out before you walked out on me. I have a client. You get the picture and then you hold a pistol to my head.
I thought you'd say that, which of course makes it impossible for us to discuss the picture with you. But then I doubt if you could understand exactly why.
Oh, I understand.
Good night, Mr. Ware.
Spite. Spite. I understand spite. And just you think about that, sir, before you imagine you've put something over on me.
2 years you stuck it with him.
Have a drink.
All the same, it doesn't make you any less of a pig-headed fool.
Well, who knows? There might be some respectable buyers that would want it.
Well, we better set about finding them, hadn't we?
Yeah, I think she'd look better with a spot of gold paint.
Coffee.
Is it absurd?
No.
Farnham's loot, paid for out of his loose change, you understand.
Well, where shall we hang this, eh?
Oh, no, is that the money?
Visitors,
let's have a
please do not touch. There we are. There she is, the beaut. Look at that.
It is better than mine. Slightly.
I'm very glad to hear it. Can't imagine anything worse than a bad copy of a dreary original.
Oh, look, mine was very good.
You mind?
Well, let's hide all this safely away. All right. That's it.
What watch it.
All right, I got it. Got it?
Oh, Mephistopheles, eh?
Isn't it gorgeous? I wish it was mine.
And our client is going to drop it into some ambassador's lap.
Ah!
Hello there, Mr. Ware.
Hello, Tinker.
I must say it's a great pleasure getting a call from you. How's business?
That's what this is about. Business. We're waiting here for a client.
Well, my darling, hold the door against the bailiffs. I gave the suitor to sign the security agreement.
Just occurs to me. We haven't signed any agreement.
And a handshake, do.
Oh, I think we could do a little better than that.
Well, that's all safely hidden away.
I wish old Farnham would fling a few gifts in my direction.
Might cast some doubts on your virtue, love.
You're sitting on it.
What?
Get off. You must be. I've looked everywhere else.
Is that what you want?
Oh, yes. Oh, that's the front door there.
Ah, that'll be young Searle to sign the service agreement.
The door's on the chain.
Hello.
Jus de fruits, orange juice.
Ah. Monsieur Cyrano?
Mm-hmm.
My name is Ware.
Ah, the phone call. What is it you wish?
I heard about your protest at the sale of that Monet.
My Monet.
Yes, well, whosever picture it is. The point is, I take it, that you want it back.
Monsieur, 4 months ago, my affairs were in the hands of an attorney. I was not too well.
Ah, I'm very sorry.
Merci, monsieur. One step he saw fit to reorganize my finances was to sell the money to an English buyer who refused to let me have it back.
And naturally, you got no joy out of the English courts. I see.
You see. Now, Mr. War, is it?
Where?
Where is it? What is your interest in my picture?
Monsieur, no, I have no interest in your picture.
How interesting.
But I am interested in a young pup being put in his place.
This is your business. How could it possibly affect me?
Monsieur, no, I'd like to be quite straight with you. I take it you want this picture back?
Of course.
I can get it back. It will cost you a little money.
Money? Money.
But it will not go through the English courts.
You interest me greatly, monsieur.
Where?
Greatly.
Come on. Unless you want me to ring a breakfast gong in your ear.
Good morning.
Oh, hello.
How are you feeling?
My dear suitor, I'm in the very pink of condition.
Have some coffee.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder what your friend's doing in the art business.
Why?
Well, he bruises easily and he admits to having principles. That's not good.
All the same, I'm not half as sore this morning as Ware. He sunk any chance of getting that money now. Well, he waylaid me as I was coming out of the hotel. And implored me to reconsider what he had to say. He repeated his top offer, 42,000.
And Chris turned it down.
Well, I was the biggest fool in the world, of course, to get into the car. When the charm failed, he stopped the car, got out, and said, "Try suing me for what happens to you now." And left me to his two helpers.
Oh, excuse me. Hello. Who? Oh, would you wait a minute, please? I say, there's a solicitor downstairs asking for me about the picture.
Well, you're not on the run, are you?
No. Yes, send him right up then, please.
And you think getting yourself beaten up and pitched out of a car means that Ware has given up, eh?
Well, what more can he do?
Oh.
I'd rather go through the hoop than let him get it.
The chances are strong that you will, of all the obstinate... Oh, darling, come here. You know, I spent most of last night angling for buyers.
Never a bite, eh?
No.
Miss Lane?
Yes.
Please forgive me for calling so abruptly. I was so glad I was able to trace you. My name is Whittle, of Whittle, Brown and Seeger.
Mr. Souter, Mr. Searle.
How do you do?
How do you do? How do you do?
Yes, Mr. Whittle?
Well, now, it's about this money. I do congratulate you, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I've been asked by Madame Beuve-Metchikoff in Paris. You know her, perhaps?
No, can't say I do.
No. Well, she's the widow of a wealthy French industrialist. She was unable at the last moment yesterday to fly over to the sale, so she asked me to ascertain whether you bought this picture with any thought of reselling it.
I see. Well, under the right sort of conditions, of course. I might perhaps be interested.
Good. Then it would be in order for me to advise her where to find you and to contact you?
Yes, Mr. Whittle, absolutely in order. We shall be here.
Splendid. Well, I hope I shall be able to see you again.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Miss Lane.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Mr.
Goodbye.
Beuve-Metchikoff. With a name like that, she could only be rich.
Oh, Heather, get me the Markham Motel on the phone, will you? Ask for Miss Lane's room and find out whether Mr. Souter has left yet.
Yes.
Morning.
Morning, you're late.
Cigar, sir.
Oh. It was once estimated that my time was worth £50.
Well, now, about escorting your valuables to Paris.
You'll excuse me.
I'm leaving on the 4 o'clock plane. Can you make that?
Oh, I should think so.
Markham Hotel. Miss Lane, eh?
She's a client.
Got something against me, that girl. Wish I knew what.
Well, not everybody can claim to have such attractive enemies. Oh, by the way, if you're still interested in one of Monet's finest works, you may shortly find you missed the boat.
Now, Souter, are you minding it or selling it?
Hello.
Miss Lane?
Yes?
Paris calling you. One moment, please. You're through.
Hello, this is Madame Beuve-Metchikoff.
Bonjour, madame.
Ah, Miss Lane, bonjour. It's concerning the money you bought. My lawyer there tells me you may be willing to sell.
Yes, that is so, provided, of course, that we can
yes,
come to...
Yes. Well, now, could you perhaps tell me what sum you're asking for it?
Well, madame, as I hadn't actively considered putting it on the market, I'd rather you made me an offer.
I see. Well, then, I am prepared to offer you, in English, shall we say, £40,000.
Oh, I'm sorry, madame. That's nowhere near the figure I'd let it go for. The price I had in mind is £47,000.
Oh, mais c'est absurd, voyons. 47. Écoutez, mademoiselle, I shall give you what is my absolute maximum, £45,000.
That is also my absolute minimum.
Ah, but then you agree, at 45,000.
I agree.
Good. I shall require delivery to my address in Paris and have my lawyer call and arrange details. Is this also agreed?
It is indeed, madame, yes.
Thank you, Mademoiselle Lane. Eh bien, au revoir.
Au revoir, madame.
Oh, Susanna!
Oh, darling, put me down.
You did it! My God, it's
You did answer that.
Soda and Shoesmith Limited? Oh, yes. Just 1 minute, please, Mr. Searle. Hey, it's for you, Ian.
Eh?
It's Searle.
Hello? You have? To go to Paris, eh? Uh-huh. Beuve, 1 minute. B-E-U-V-E, yes. Mechikov. Uh-huh. When are you arranging this for? With whom? Whittle, Brown and Seeger. Yes, I got that. Well, we can be there almost right away. Fine. Righto. Bye. Well.
Young Searle, he's not sold that picture.
For 45,000 quid to some rich old bird in Paris.
How's that?
It's only on paper so far.
Good luck to them.
Bob, do you think you could bring yourself to take this picture to Paris for them?
Sure.
Tonight, perhaps?
Well, the sooner the better, don't you think?
Well, you better get their travel arrangements. They're making these with this, what is it? Beuve Mechikov's London representatives.
Hmm?
I'll see you later on the way to the airport.
Right.
Bird Mechikov.
Thank you.
You know, they're showing the spring collections in Paris this week.
Bad luck, love. I want you to stay behind and hold the fort. Might be able to help me with this money, though.
Really? Well, that would be a privilege at any rate.
Yes, I quite understand. I'm so sorry I can't get your aircraft reservations. It's such short notice. Such short notice.
Yes, Mr. Whittle.
Well, never mind, Mr. Whittle. It was very good of you to try.
Oh, but there's plenty of room on the late train. Accommodations yourselves, and you pick up the tickets later. It's the way I always travel, but I expect you'd call me old-fashioned.
That's all right by you, is it?
Certainly, as long as I don't have to get out and row.
Now, here's Madame Beuve Metikov's address. She'll be expecting you about 11 o'clock tonight, I gather.
Thank you very much.
Not at all, thank you. And bye-bye, Miss Lane.
Goodbye, Mr. Whittle.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, sir.
Oh, well. There'll be a security van waiting for us at Le Bourget.
Good. My dear, have a drink?
We might as well keep her occupied.
2 scotch and soda, please. With ice.
Yeah. No ice.
Channel. Straight through from Victoria to the Gare du Nord. No changing.
No boats, no sea breezes, no romance.
There's no seasickness.
I trust you'll wake me up when it's all over.
For a man who claims to have such a horror of the Impressionists, you're showing a remarkable devotion to that picture.
If I let my personal tastes interfere with my work, I might not make quite so much money.
I think I'll treat you to a trip through the Tuileries Gardens tomorrow.
Have a meal already. No, if you'd suggested having dinner at Maxime's, well, that would have been another thing again, wouldn't it? So, I suppose that's going to be his privilege. Well, he's earned it.
What's happened?
You all right? What's the...
Yes. Karen? It's gone, I take it.
Yes, it's gone. There were 2 armed men on the train. They pulled the cord, and by the time we'd picked ourselves up, it was all over. There must have been a car waiting alongside the track. It was very slick.
You absolutely taped.
Guard and mobile were there fast enough, organizing roadblocks. But
You have a scotch. You better have one too, I think.
Yes, please.
Love one.
Neat.
there was nothing for it finally but to come in on the train. It's a police affair now.
Thank you.
So we came straight here.
Well, that'll help you a bit.
Thank you.
Well, I suppose I'd better telephone Madame Berg-Machikov.
Yes, I suppose you should.
There you are.
Voilà. Je voudrais liser 2002, s'il vous plaît.
Ne quittez pas, s'il vous plaît. Mademoiselle,
Oui?
vous avez bien dit lisez 022?
Oui?
Alors, ce numéro n'existe pas.
There's no such number.
I was afraid not.
So it was a hoax.
I'd say so, wouldn't you?
Well, it seems to me you're being a little wise after the event. Well, forgive me. Do you mind if I have another?
Help yourself.
Good God, what's this?
What's it look like?
What has happened? Is this some kind of a joke?
Just that Paris offer came too high, too pat, and too soon. Payment in France, delivery, sight unseen. No.
I thought that too.
Oh, please tell me, is this our money?
Yes, it is. There was no time to investigate the offer, so I just took precautions. I was bringing some of Farnham's stuff, so I included that.
And you loaded me up with a copy.
Well, a very good one. For a student's copy. Then you wouldn't know about that, would you? Monet not being your cup of tea.
Do you mean that I had Heather's...
Well, she's a very talented artist.
Oh.
11:30. Still no news from your men.
What's happened to them then?
That's what I'm asking you. I'd better phone C&O's lawyer in Paris. They should have some news by now. Paris dialing code. They should know by now whether the whole thing's gone through successfully. Oh, damn you, Tinker. You should have been on that train. You should have seen to this job yourself.
Oh, do me a favour. How can I do a job in France? I don't speak the lingo for a start, do I? Look, I've told you, these boys are good. They don't muck about.
Yes, Mr. Chaville. It's where here in Manchester. Yes, I was just inquiring whether your client got his delivery safely. What's that? Detained? But how did... I see. Look here, Mr. Chaville. I'm sure you realize there's no need to involve anybody else. Mr. Chaville? Hello? Hello? Cyrano has been detained at Le Bourget.
Cyrano detained at Le Bourget? Why?
Tinker's men burst a tire, they went off the road, and the police got hold of them. Under questioning, they've been talking their heads off. If they've got through to Cyrano, that means they've shocked us. And look here, Whittle, I'm relying on you to keep me out of this. The French police will come through to us with an extradition order. Conspiracy to rob. At least they'll have to prove it.
In France, boot rather is on the other foot. We'll have to disprove it.
Good evening. Were we right?
You never give up, do you?
Well, well, well.
Don't tell me you've turned up for another laugh.
I've always been interested in that picture.
We've all suffered from the interest you take in works of art, Mr. Farnham.
My dear girl, I came in all innocence to see what you might now be doing with it.
All right, since you're so interested. Make me an offer.
I'd give a reasonable figure.
I'll bet.
It's £50,000.
I wish you'd been half as tough when you worked for me.
Tough or not, I'd never hire a girl to buy me works of art and then repudiate the deal she'd made because I'd changed my mind.
So that's what I did.
Oh, come off it, Joe. I was laughed out of the dealers for months after that. I couldn't get any kind of a job. There were a couple of sales where they wouldn't even accept my bid. So let's not squabble about it now. It's a round reasonable figure.
Susanna, dear girl, a sensible price. 43,000.
Well, let's see now. When the damage that your paper has done to that picture's value is cleared up, and you'll do it yourself in a one-column story, it'll be worth every penny of £48,000, and you know it.
No. No, it might be worth 45, 46 perhaps.
You heard my last word, 48,000.
I know what you paid. The profit you want is indecent.
Oh, not half as indecent as the profit you make and squander on bronze chamber pots to bribe heads of state with. This is a money you're buying.
Yes, yes, I know. 47,000, Susanna. Don't push it any higher. You've used up all your oxygen.
47. All right, done.
Good.
Got it.
Well, at that sale. Rather thanks to me, I think.
Yes. Putting that old boy up to creating a row was quite the Farnham touch.
No. It made very good copy, but it wasn't me. Now, Suter, I want you to organize this back to London for me.
Yeah. And now I suppose that you've at last established his ownership. I wonder if this story will get the same sort of treatment in your rag, eh?
You must forgive me, but Susanna and I had planned a rather orgiastic evening at Maxim.
Of course. Oh, try the lobster souffle.
It's frightfully rude of me, I know, but...
My dear, if you could do as well for me, you can do with a good buyer.
We'd always be glad to do business with you, Mr. Searle and I.
It's not all profit, you know. You owe my secretary for the loss of a rather good copy.
My dear Suter, we owe you rather more.
Yes, and I shan't forget it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Claude Monet. His soul was made of color and light. The daddy of them all.
Thought you didn't go with that sort of stuff.
This calls for a celebration.
I agree.
Well, we've got to be back first thing tomorrow morning.
Oh, a little amateur artist can hold the fort for 24 hours.
I suppose we should stay on till lunchtime.
Yes, well, you brought this over, and tonight it's your responsibility. Mr. Farnham, I accept very gratefully your invitation to dinner on behalf of the firm of Suter and Shoesmith.
Hey,
What shall we eat?
Lobster souffle and a bottle of Moselle.
Hey, wait a minute.
Harriet, French Suzette, Turkish coffee.